Okay, so let's take a look at this muffin project. If you notice, I went ahead and added how many dozens were made. There were 72 dozens made, and that means times 12 is 864. And then over here, if I add how many were sold, 69 dozen, that's 828 if I multiply it by 12. So that's how many muffins. So how many muffins made. This is how many muffins sold. So the next question, letter A, says, what was the total number of muffins made? Well, there was 864. 864 were made, or you could have put 72 dozen. But remember, it's not 72, it's 72 dozen. And the other question, what was the total number of muffins sold? Well, there was 69 dozen, or 828. The next question, what percent of muffins made were sold? All right, so we have, so looking at it quickly right here, there was 864 muffins made total, 864. All right, and we want to figure out about 828 of them were sold. What percent is that? So this is how many were made. We want to figure out for 828, where is that on here and what percent is it? What percent is it? We know it's more than, like this is halfway. 432 is halfway. This would probably be about 600 and something, 700. So it's going to be up here. Well, what I do is I'll just take the number. This is the number sold. And this is the number made. And I just divide. Divide, I get 0.958. And that's, if I move the decimal over, that's 95.8%. So that's 96%. So our answer is 96%. And then if I went ahead and modeled that, I'd find 96%, which is right about approximately here. That's 96%. And each one of these squares, right there, 10%, I just move the decimal over, it's 86.4. Every one is 86.4. I just wrote in there one time, 86.4, and then put dot, 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 because each one of these is 86.4. And so what we're talking about, 96%, that would be all of, that'd be all of this right here. That would be 96% of this total. Okay, so again, the answer was 96%. Okay, flipping it over, the other side. It says, what percent of the muffins made were pumpkin muffins? Okay, if you looked at the pumpkin muffins, there was 216 muffins, pumpkin muffins. 216. So the total made was 864, just like last time. That's the total made. 864. Okay, and there's 216 pumpkin muffins made. 216. So we want to go ahead and divide that and see what we get as a percent. And if I can find my calculator, okay, let me get the real good one here. Okay, so it's 216 divided by 216 divided by 864. Okay, something went wrong here, didn't it? Let me clear this again. So 216 divided by 864. 864 equals, and I know that is wrong. Try it again. 216 divided by 864. There you go. 0.25. Okay, so that's 0.25, which is, move the decimal over 2 spaces, it's 25 25%. 25%. Okay, so on my model right here, here's 10%, 20%, here's 25% right there. All right, and that's where the 216 is. And this is 25%. And in each one of these, in each one here is 86.4, right? Because 10% of 864. And I'm just going to put dot, 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 because it's in every single one of these. And so what's shaded? This 25% right here. Okay, so that's our model. 25%. You should shade 25%. Each box is 86.4 because the total is 864. Okay, let's go down to the next one. And it wants to know what type of cookie, what type of muffin, represents a 1/3 of the muffins made. Okay, there's 864 muffins were made. That's the total. 864. We want to know what type is 1/3 of that. Well, I'll just take, you could do it two ways. You can say 1/3 times 864. Right? And when you do that, notice how, notice it's like this is on the top, and I'm sorry, the 864 is on the top. So really it's just, if I do 1 times 864, 3 times 1, all you're doing is just dividing by 3. 864 divided by 3. So I'll use my $1 calculator. 864 divided by 3. And that is wrong. Let's try it again. 864 divided by 3. Why do I get 288? Is that right? Oh, it is 288. Okay. My bad. It doesn't know what percent. It just wants to know which type of muffin is. I think I made a mistake here, didn't I? What type of muffin represents 1/3 of the muffins made? Oh, okay, 288. Which one is 288 muffins? My bad. So which one is 288? I look over on the other side, and I see that chocolate chip is 288. Chocolate chip. So you know what? The answer is chocolate chip, 288. So I look over here, this side, and I write down chocolate chip. I'm just going to abbreviate chalk chip. And then if I go ahead and model that very quickly. Okay, 25%. I'm sorry, not 25%, 1/3. So what's 1/3? About 33. So here's 10, 20, 30. And so here's 33, right about there. Okay, that'd be 33, 0.3%. That's 1/3. And remember, in each box is 10%, so each box is 86.4. So I will shade that 1/3. And this right here, this number is 288. 288. Because 288 is 1/3. And it turns out 288 is the chocolate chip. Let's go to the next one. The last one. It says, what percent of blueberry muffins made were sold? Okay, well, if I look at, see how many were made, blueberry, 192 were made, 180 were sold. Okay, so we want to make that into a percent. So you have 192 made, you have 180 sold. So let's just figure out how much is 180 out of 192. So I'll take that, I'll reduce it, I'll divide it. Let's try this again. Hopefully this thing will not fail me. So 180 divided by 192. divided by 192 equals, I get 0.937. So 0.937, and if you move the decimal over 2 spaces, you get, different color here, I get 93.7%. And if you round that off, that would be 94%. So the answer is 94%. Okay, so my answer is 94%. Okay, well I need to show that on here. So let's see, we wanted, so it was 94%, so I go over here. Here is 94%, let's see, here's 90, and approximately about halfway. Okay, this is 94%. All right, and that represents 180 muffins. And remember, in each box, now we did 192 as being the total, so in each box, it's going to be 10% of that. That means it's going to be, what's that, 19.2? I just moved the decimal over 1 space. 19.2. And that's in every one of them. So 10%. Each box is 10%. And now I'll just shade that in. This is 0 here. Okay, and that's it. And that is how we do the muffin problems.